A couple of weeks ago, I made a video about Neo Yokio and how awful I thought it was going to be, and a lot of people responded by, pretty much disliking the entire thing that I put out there, and I felt pretty bad about it, but then I realized that it was my opinion, and I really have nothing to feel bad about. Of course, naturally, if I wanted to, I could just take down the video and act as though it never happened, but that's not what I aim to do. Usually when I make a video, it's pretty much just my 2 cents and how I feel about something and pretty much my experiences, but nothing to the point that I think that people should agree with me over everything. In fact, what I'm about to talk about is something that's been covered by many people way before I got here, and it's pretty much about self-censorship and why it's terrible. You see, usually you stand by what you say or put out there on the universe. A lot of people delete tweets or they just happen to take down videos of things that happened prior and they just never bring it up ever again. In fact, I think that the Neo Yokio video pretty much showcases how people can agree or disagree with you, or at least how confirmation bias works. That's typically what YouTube and the internet is built on, is confirmation biased. And when confirmation bias gets in the way, things like what happened to the Anime Man happen. Now, I will go out here and say that I'm not really the biggest fan of the Anime Man, especially since most of his jokes and humor just kind of go over my head, I guess. Maybe. But some of them are just they're really cringe. I'm sure he's a nice guy, I really do, but I just don't really care that much for any of the things that he says because they're just edited to hell and there's so many jump cuts and I can't take it. But regardless of how I feel, I'll go ahead and fill you in. So the Anime Man back a while ago was talking about the anime seasons in 2016, and one of the topics was about Yuri on Ice, and he pretty much gave his opinions on what he thought about it. Now, as you saw from the previous picture, he had a pretty decent amount of likes and just a couple hundred dislikes, nothing too outlandish. But it's not really that I wanted to talk about. It's how he came out with the video, and then there was an apology afterwards. But I'll go ahead and just run you what these parts of the video said about Yuri on Ice.
Yuri on Ice. Oh yes, now this is the show that everyone and their fucking mothers were watching this season. So being a slave to internet trends, I decided to sit down and see what the hubbub was all about.
I'm actually going to be a little nitpicky. They're not really internet trends, it's just something that Crunchyroll put out. Who sponsors you? I mean, it's right, it's in almost every single one of your videos, you're sponsored through Crunchyroll. So naturally, you're going to have to follow the trend because they're not going to just pay you to look pretty there.
And well, let me just say this show certainly looked good. Having known that Studio Mappa went out of the way to base the figure skating scenes to real figure skating footage and choreography, I can see how much dedication and love went into that aspect of the show. But honestly, that's about it. You know how YouTube and other online news outlets have had problems with clickbait and misleading audiences into thinking they're gonna get something awesome? Well, suffice it to say, Yuri on Ice is the anime equivalent of that. It quenches the thirst of yaoi fangirls and figure skating enthusiasts who want some of that sweet, sweet sword fighting action.
Man, sometimes the cringe is just too strong with this guy. But anyways, this is pretty much the part of the video that I think got a lot of people's attention, which is why they were pissed off at the whole fact that he even said anything close to this. But don't worry, he kinda doubles down a little bit afterwards.
But if you're neither one of these target audiences, then this show is pretty fucking bad. And there goes all my female viewers. Who's up for a sausage fest?
I swear to God, one more bad pun. Just one more bad pun. But yeah, no, I mean, he kind of nailed it. To be fair, he did kind of nail it. I mean, not the joke, I mean the stuff that he said.
Well, Yuri on Ice is certainly up for it because that's all this fucking show is.
I mean, you didn't see that it was clearly something that had a lot of dudes in it? Like, you didn't see that there were dudes doing some pretty gay things, and you assumed that it was not going to be a sausage fest? I don't understand.
And look, it's not that I'm not into figure skating or that I'm so homophobic that I can't stand two guys kissing each other in a homoerotic subtext that covers its bullshit with its sports genre. The problem is that this show didn't even manage to do any of this correctly. From the first episode, I could tell this show wasn't going to show any level of quality whatsoever.
Now, to be completely fair, I did say the same thing about Neo Yokio. So, good on ya.
Sloppy pacing, rushed character progression, and if you label any of its quote-unquote comedy as funny, then you might as well label Free as a brilliant story. Because Yuri on Ice took the concept of all of that, replaced it with shoehorn homoerotic tension, solving all the problems in the world. What's that? You have a nervous breakdown because you're pressured to win this match? Have a hug from behind. Fuck antidepressant drugs.
Boy, he is just tearing this anime a new asshole. I mean, I didn't think it was all that great, but he even put the pill bottle with gay ass anime on it. Like, that's how mad this has made him. Visibly, it has made him this level of angry.
Gay love solves all! If I haven't pissed you off enough at this point, then let me top it off with an analogy. Yuri on Ice is like watching a 5-year-old eat a McDonald's hamburger for the first time.
This analogy has already begun to be creepy.
To the kid, that hamburger is probably the most satisfying, tasty thing he's ever had. But as that kid grows up, he'll realize that there was a steakhouse around the corner that's incomparably better and higher quality.
Well, that's kind of a retarded analogy. I mean, the child is 5 years old, and then, of course, when he grows up, sure, his taste will change, and then he can go to the steakhouse. I fail to see how people think that because Yuri on Ice is good right now, that it'll just somehow be magically better like next year or the year after. People's tastes change, Joey.
It's boring, it's cliche, and the only way I can enjoy this show is if I were a yaoi fangirl pleb who'll watch anything with half-naked Russian bitches going to town on idiots on skates. All hail shitty yaoi sports! Next!
Oh my god, thank god that segment is over. And sure, if you want to call them plebs, then that's your own fault. I mean, obviously you're going to go ahead and just completely rule out that demographic of people that probably will watch your channel, and then you're just making fun of them. It sure is working out great for Funimation right now. So pretty much after that video came out, a lot of people were upset with him, even going as so far as to make their own video, pretty much saying that this wasn't the man that they had subscribed to. Which, I mean, you know, let's be honest, like I only have 257 subs at the time that I'm recording this, but everyone is free to not watch me. I mean, I'm not forcing anybody to hit that sub button, but no, in all seriousness though, like, I mean, YouTube is a place of confirmation bias, and he pretty much didn't confirm their biases when he made this review. And so he came out in defense of himself to make a apology to the LGBT community of people that watch anime. Now, I understand that he has an audience of people that he wants to keep, and it's unfortunate that he had to make this apology video, but at the same point in time, you have to kind of understand that when you're trying to cover up your tracks from something that you thought was not a very tasteful piece of work, then I mean, why'd you even put it up in the first place? I'll stand by my turds. Neo Yokio was one of my worst put together videos because it was 8 minutes of me rambling off, pretty much yelling at the sky. It's terrible. It was the worst video I've ever made, but I'm still proud of it because it brought all of you lovelies to my doorstep. I love you guys, seriously. So to kind of put it all together, here's the deleted video that someone was kind enough to re-upload.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is the Anime Man. This video is not going to have any edits, any cuts in it, and I'll be looking at the things I've written down on my phone so that I don't go off on random tangents and I just say what I want to say to you guys without any fault.
Thank goodness he's sparing my brain cells, because any more jump cuts or any of that nonsense, I just would have tapped out and I probably would have just gave up on my video.
So please understand that. And yeah. Okay.
Come on, that's the pre-game ritual. We're getting to it.
First of all, I want to thank you guys for enjoying the summer and fall 2016 double seasonal roundup video I did.
I didn't care that much for it, but continue.
That video took months to put together, and I wanted to polish it to a point where the wait would seem worth it for some. And I'm glad a lot of people did appreciate the video for what it was in the end.
I mean, I didn't much care for it, but 15,000 people, they pretty much enjoyed what you had to put out. So you should stand by it and not make this apology.
However, I see a lot of people, unsurprisingly, were not particularly happy with my Yuri on Ice review.
Have you seen my Neo Yokio video? People fucking hate that video, and they hate me for that video.
Again, unsurprising, as my review is definitely comprised of a more unpopular opinion in the community.
Again, you should check my Neo Yokio video out. I doubt you're gonna ever watch this video or come across it, but just so you know, the Neo Yokio video was one of the worst videos I've ever made. In fact, I think it's probably the worst video on YouTube. No, it's not that bad. We won't go that far. But no, people really don't like that, and it's because I have an unpopular opinion. A lot of people were sending me tweets and telling me that black people need representation, and they finally got it in Neo Yokio. It has nothing to do with race. When you're in Japan and you have people that are Japanese, there's 98.5% Japanese people in Japan. Let's just go ahead and knock that out. There's 25,000 black people in Japan, and when a Japanese company like Production IG and Studio Dean are making this production, they don't have to give you black people in anything. But that's a whole different story. You see, people didn't like it because I didn't get that it was a parody. No, I got that it's a parody. It's just not a very good one. And let me just go ahead and backpedal just a little bit. Neo Yokio has great Japanese voice work, but that's the only part where it shines. But no, if people don't feel like your opinion is very popular, then oh well, they can get their biases confirmed somewhere else.
But some people have been claiming that my review on Yuri on Ice is an attack on the LGBT anime community, and that I am misrepresenting the LGBT anime community through this video.
Black Bond has me blocked on Twitter because I didn't agree with him about the PewDiePie dropping the N-bomb, the almighty N-bomb. I don't think that there's anything wrong in that words only have the power that you give them. And he disagreed and said that black people, if you're black, that's part of your identity. To which I replied, no, it's not. It's your identity is how you carry yourself and how you present yourself to people, not your skin color. And then he disagreed, not very politely, and then he blocked me. Because that's what you do when you're a little bitch.
To that, I would like to clarify clearly that that is not the case.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought you were going to say something else retarded.
I have openly expressed my support for the LGBT anime community in videos like What Exactly is Yaoi, among others, which I say is a lot more than most other anime YouTubers have been willing to go.
To your credit, you're not wrong. A lot of anime YouTubers don't really cover topics that are controversial or things that deal with race or anything that deals with your gender and how you deal with your orientation. I deal with a lot of different people on a daily basis, some that are straight, bi, gay, some that are just completely different. They're transgender, or they might be man, woman, child. I mean, I don't know who's subbed to me, but I'm pretty sure that most of your guys anyways, or Apache helicopters, it doesn't matter. But that's the thing, is that I don't specifically cater to one demographic or another with each video. I just make videos. Either people will like them or they don't. There's no reason to go out on a limb and apologize for something that you didn't do wrong.
However, I can see how some people may have misrepresented my harsh words on the show. And if I upset or offended anybody watching this video, then I would just like to take this time to say my deepest and most sincere apologies.
Did he just say some people? No, just kidding. I'm just jabbing fun at you. This is going to be a little bit of a long video.
I openly admit to have read and watched LGBT manga and anime in the past.
That doesn't matter. If you read something or if you like to watch something that has gay characters in it, why do you have to feel the need to tell everybody, hey guys, I watched this thing with a gay character. It's actually really good. You know, I mean, they weren't fucking each other up the ass, but I mean, no, it was really good. Come on, man.
At the same time, however, I do also openly admit that I am not the biggest expert in the topic. However, just because I dislike this one show, that is not an attack on the LGBT community whatsoever.
Well, of course not, and they shouldn't take it as an attack, because if they do, then they're idiots, and they need to go ahead and reassess the situation.
Just because I have more subscribers and more people listening to my opinion on the show, that does not mean my opinion is above anybody else's.
So then that begs the question of why even make this apology video? Stand by what you say and believe in it with all of your heart. And if you truly think there's something wrong with it, don't say it's because people are calling you out for being against the LGBT community. It's retarded. You're just making videos just like how I make videos, except mine are terrible compared to yours, unfortunately.
My opinion on the show is how I represented the show personally, and is not in any way a representation of the mass audience. It is also not a representation of how the mass audience should see this show. As I've mentioned many times, I'm just one man with one opinion.
And I'm one anime girl with an amazing rack.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Man, one of these days I'm gonna have to get an ass shot in. I think there needs to be a little bit more ass in my videos.
Just because I didn't like the show, that does not mean people should necessarily do the same. I don't want people hating on a popular show without their own formulated thoughts and opinions, and just nod their head at what I say.
Okay, well, that seems like that's the end of the video then, right? Is that the end?
Again, the weight and relevance of my opinion is no different to that of the opinion of the person next to you.
I'm guessing that will not be the end of this video yet.
With that being said, I can see now that my choice of words on the show was particularly harsh.
I still think Neo Yokio is the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. I only saw 5 minutes. That's it. And that was enough to know that that was probably the worst dumpster fire I've ever seen in my life.
And I promise from this video onward, I will do my absolute best to refrain from using such harsh and potentially offensive words as much as possible about a topic that is quite sensitive to a lot of people in this community.
You would hate to see me on a Monday afternoon then, because, boy, there's a lot of offensive shit that comes out of my mouth.
I'm not going to pretend that I didn't do anything wrong.
But you didn't do anything wrong.
And throw the "you're so sensitive" card out in this situation. Because I value every opinion that comes out of my community, whether you agree with me or not.
I do too. The ones that disagree with me, sometimes they're funny, or sometimes they're just trolls, or sometimes they don't know anything. They're just there for the shits and giggles.
And the same undoubtedly applies for the members of the LGBT anime community that watch and engage in my videos.
There's not really an analytic to show who's gay and who's straight that watch your videos, so maybe it's like it doesn't matter. There's a lot of gay people that probably watch my videos, and I say go ahead and suck on that cock all you want. Just enjoy my videos, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.
I would also like to apologize for my lack of research when reviewing the anime, as some have pointed out by saying things like, "You're not part of the LGBT community, so you'll never understand."
You know, I wasn't a part of the civil rights movement, so I probably wouldn't understand the struggles of black people back then, or even the fact that some people lost their families on 9/11, but sure, let's go ahead and just have them throw that card at you and you just eat it up. As a wise man known as the anime snob once said, experience does not equate wisdom.
Which I wholeheartedly cannot disagree with. But just because I'm not part of said community, that does not mean I am allowed to express my personal opinions on the topic.
Opinions on the internet are a dime a dozen, and if somebody's upset because you made a video about how you feel about something and they didn't like it, then who cares? You don't have to pander to any lowest common denominator. Just make the content you want to make.
If I do decide to cover similar topics in the future, I will do my absolute best to look at it from as neutral of a standpoint as possible, with as much research backing up what I say.
I think I'm missing the point of where research was important when talking about the LGBT community. Like, I don't know much about it myself, but I do know that it consists of a lot of gay people. Is that what the research we're trying to do is? Maybe I'm missing it.
But at the same time, if I do end up saying anything negative about said topic, I also respectfully ask for each and every one of you to have the same open mindset to each and every opposing and clashing opinions that may arise.
At this point in the video, he just kind of wraps it up by saying that he supports the LGBT community, and even though he's a cis male, he can't, possibly understand what they're going through, but he can support them no matter what. Just because I might happen to be an anime girl doesn't mean that I'm going to, hate all the 3D grills out there. It just means that I'm one person, and if people don't like what I say, then they're free to downvote, and they're free to dislike, and they're free to unsubscribe. I mean, I don't want anybody to unsubscribe. I mean, give me those subs. We're gonna make it to 1 million. We're gonna make 1 million subs, and then I'll probably do something special. I'm gonna buy everyone a potato salad. That like that one guy, he had that Kickstarter. He got that potato salad dinner thing put together for everyone. That's gonna be me, except it's gonna be not potato salad. I guess ultimately in this video, the reason I made it is because people shouldn't censor what they have to say. They shouldn't have to take down any videos, and they shouldn't have to make responses to people because they weren't the person they subscribed to. I mean, I interact with a lot of different people, as I said before. Some of them are gay, some of them are lesbian. They're all good people, and I know that there's good in everyone. Even some of the furries. I argued with a guy who's a furry, and he, pretty much doesn't like white people, but he also doesn't like black people for some reason. I don't know. But anyways, he's a furry, and I know that there's some good in him somewhere. He's just not going to censor himself, and that's fine. But he can't wish for world peace and then call people Uncle Toms all the time. I mean, that's just retarded. It's so backwards thinking. I don't understand. But I think that just about wraps up this video. It's kind of went on long enough, and by the time this goes up, I'll actually be on vacation for the weekend. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I hope you stay safe out there. And if you're new, feel free to subscribe, because a lot of stuff happens here. We like to have fun in this community. In this house, we have nothing but fun. Sorry, there's no graphic picture for that. I don't have the little in the house thing that goes with it. And also, if you want to see all the things that I'm up to or interact with me, there's always Discord, and then there's also Steam, and also follow me on Twitter. And if you're going to be the person of the generous type, you can go ahead and donate to my Patreon, where that money pretty much goes to the artist and the ones that I commission, and that it's all great stuff. And if you're ever feeling even more generous, feel free to stop by all of the different artists that have done work for me, or the ones for this season in particular, like Kuru, or even MACROSS, and thanks for him for lending me the music. I really appreciate it. By the way, guys, you can also find me on Bandcamp, where they have a lot of the music that I use in these videos. You can usually get them for about $1 for the digital copies, and you get multiple formats for it. This isn't an ad. This is not hashtag ad. I'm just telling you this because it's information and it's good. But as I said before, I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I hope you stay safe out there. And I'll be back next week with another short video until we can get to the longer ones. And those ones are going to be the hardest. And that wasn't meant to be a dirty joke. I mean it like that one's supposed to be like a long video just like this one.